Buongiorno, welcome to Jaxx Vane Studio Live number 29. Still working on the sailing game simulator. Am I doing a mess with the microphone? Good morning, Remco. Well, first of all, let me say, everybody, thank you. I was quite surprised by the reaction to my last video. Ended up being a video with lots of comments on YouTube. I'm going to have a hard time with this today, am I? Yeah. So it was a nice response on YouTube. Of course, probably I didn't communicate very well my intention. I'm still obviously going on with the sailing simulator, and actually the situation is evolving day by day because I'm actually considering. My original idea was to branch this project into another project, right? So use the same code, but considering the kind of stuff that we want to do for the new game, for the other game, I'm really reconsidering Unreal Engine, believe it or not, which, as you know, is not really something that I am very happy to work with. But if we go and do the other game that we are thinking and we're talking about, it's going to be a game where the graphics is going to play a huge part compared to something like a simulator where obviously the code is the most important part. So there is a very good possibility that I will just try to make life as easy as possible, on the graphic side, and do the other project using Unreal, and stay with Rust and the custom engine for the sailing simulator. So a total branch, which makes sense. At the end of the day, I thought about it. I will talk about what the new game is going to be, but the only thing that really there is in common between the two games is the sail code, right? And that's not the huge part of code to port. So I think I'm going to go ahead and probably use Unreal for that. At least start with Unreal and see at what level I'm going to rate it. Anyway, but we're still working on this. Probably I will start next week. Stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting change of scenery for the other game. And I think what's going to happen here is that I will have one side where I will have a game where I don't have to worry that much about writing the engine and so on, and I can concentrate more on the game design part of the game with the new game, while this one sort of remain the thing that I can be proud of, and using Rust and writing all the engine and putting all the good simulation goodies in it. So it's going to be interesting how this will proceed in the future. I'm still stuck with this marks and buoys and thing. So unsurprisingly, I would say, because it's the kind of stuff that can look easy, but if you don't do it often, my brain keeps failing on me on this thing. I tried yesterday to keep going with the angle approach, but I kept falling into problems and things that I didn't really understand, and scenarios where, this is not really going to work on this scenario, and so on. So this morning I said, screw it, let's go with a vector based and forget about the angles, and a more familiar, what I call a timeline. What it is just a simple code where you have 2 points, and the code is able to understand if an object pass between these 2 points, which is exactly what we use in Assetto Corsa for so many years. So the idea, instead of trying to track the angle between the boat and the mark, what I'm going to do is basically sort of create some kind of virtual gates. So you can imagine if this is the boat, and I cannot show. Can I show this on? Can I show CBD? I don't think I can show CBD on Twitch. I will get banned. So yeah, okay. So that's our mark. This is our boat. So my idea is that if the mark gets activated in this position, it will sort of create like a virtual gate at 90 degrees from the direction of the boat and the mark. As soon as I pass this 90 degrees mark, it will create another virtual gate at exactly 180 degrees from where I have. And I have to pass through that. And that should work. That, in theory, should work. So we'll see what is happening. In order to do this kind of code, I should really have done a boat that I can just drive without caring about the wind. Perhaps I should do that. Right now, nothing at all is happening, which is not promising. Yeah, something like that. I should probably do that. Yeah, let me do that, because otherwise it's going to be quite... Should be easy. Should be step this one. Let's kill the sails. And just do self body. What is it? I guess our 200 newtons were nowhere enough to make something happen. So all right, there you go. Motorboat achieved. Right. That will allow me to test. That will allow me to test stuff quickly. All right, so what I want to do is add something to the creation. Yeah. All right, moving to Mark step 2. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere with this code finally. All right, so moving to step 2. And mark cleared. Good, we're making progress. My options are either a leg for this. So this, for example, would be leg 0, leg 0, leg 1, leg 1. Right, that's one option. The other option is going to be legs, leg 0, and then it's going to be start 0, start 1, leg 1, mark 0 left, and mark 0 right. So these are my two options. To be honest with you, this is going to be way more complicated for me to parse. Way up. So let me see if this should just work exactly like before. Counterclockwise, so like that. Should work exactly as it was working before. Exactly. Exactly as it was working before. What did I forget? What did I forget? Let me see. Right. So counterclockwise. Moving to mark step 2. All right. All right, mark clear. All right. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, we're not there yet. Pause. Can I do that? Can I do this? Mismatch type. Can I do this? Cannot not assign it because it's borrowed. Because you know how you need to solve this. You know how you need to solve this shit at the end. You need to solve it. Right. It's complete, blah, 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 blah. And if it's complete, then we do this nonsense here. Would you let me do that, Mr. Borrow Checker? Yes, it'll let me do that. Right. Okay, so don't need this guy. Right. It's okay. So if this works, I pass that, I go back, and then in theory, I can go up and pass in the middle of the gate, and it should work. Is it going to? Is the real question. Because if this works, I'm sure it's going to be fun because we're going in motorboat mode. So I will have to go around this guy counterclockwise. So step 2, mark cleared. All right. So now let's go up. And in theory, once I clear this, the software should crash because we are out of legs. Haha, which is another problem that I didn't think about. Oh, fuck me. Because those, shit, of course it will not work. All right. Anyway, let's check if this works. We should get a clear. Moving to max step 2, blah, 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 and then a crash, right? As soon as we pass, boom. Okay, okay. I still know what I'm doing, but this is completely wrong, right? Because what we really want to do, we really need legs, because we need leg 1, right? And leg 1 is going to be start 0 and start 1. Right? And then we're going to have leg 2, and leg 2 is going to be mark 0 left and mark 0 right. right? And then we're going to be leg 3, which is going to be these guys again. And then we're going to have leg 4, that is these guys again, right? And then we're going to be the last one, which is these 2 guys, right? That's the data structure like we really wanted, right? So this is nonsense. And this is sense. That's nonsense and this is sense, right? So I need to change the way I parse this once again. So clear. My God, I cannot even imagine how this will be if I had to do it by sailing and not by motorboating. I imagine somebody getting on YouTube and seeing this video and go like, oh my God, this guy's full of shit. This is not sailing. Yeah, it's not sailing because I'm testing. This seems to work. I think I can move to the implementation of the line. It's definitely working. Yeah, okay. This is definitely working, which is very good. So now I have to move to the implementation of the line. So how this is going to work? The way this is going to work is that we're going to have a starting line. Let's do like, you know, the proper course for this kind of, for the catamaran. So we're going to have a starting line. Then we got 90 degrees from the wind. And that's how we start. Then we will have one mark where we turn left. And we do the side. Okay, so let me try to figure out the coordinates. Well, let's do the code for the line first. So the code for the line is going to be, YouTube. You want to watch America's Cup 35, America's Cup 34, which is catamarans, or Sail GP, which is also catamarans, and America's Cup older races like, you know, 2000, 2003, and I think there was another one in Valencia, don't remember the year, if you want to watch traditional races. But America's Cup is always 2 boats against each other. Sail GP is cool because it's like, I think 6 or 7 boats at the same time, the catamarans, and it looks pretty spectacular. I liked Go a lot. In fact, the server for Assetto Corsa 1 is written in Go. The problem with Go is that sadly is not really something you can use in video games because of some performance problem that they have when you start to call APIs like DirectX or OpenGL. Very often the Go runtime is not really built to do that. So every time you call one of those functions, you get a huge cost. Yeah, I actually wrote an OpenGL very simple renderer and started a space game back in the days when I was in the Philippines. I think it's still up on my YouTube channel, I think. Yeah, there you go. And this is all Go. Yeah, I like it. I think it was a good match for game development, because I think game development, right? It looks to me like a lot of people like Jonathan Blow and Casey Muratori and so on, they really don't want a language that does too many things. They just want a simple language that makes it easy and fast to go back and forth and prototype and change stuff around quickly. And of course, especially Jonathan Blow is not a huge fan of Rust, although I don't think he used Rust very much. Exactly like he didn't really use C++, modern C++ very much. You can really tell it, by some comments that he does. It shows that he doesn't really know the details of how modern C++ works or Rust works, which is fine, because the guy is building a game and a programming language, and it's totally fine. But I can totally understand why Rust in game development can be frustrating, especially if you are in a game development, especially if you are a guy like Jonathan Blow or myself, that you just sit down and write a lot of stuff yourself, and only later you start to give something to a bigger team. I can see Rust being frustrating. There are videos of myself getting really frustrated with Rust. It happened today that I had to fight a little bit with a borrow checker. It's getting much better, but there is more friction. There is more friction than in a language where you can do whatever you want with no borrow checker complaining about what you're doing, right? So, and I also understand how difficult it is to balance a language that has lots of features with a language that is much more simple, especially if you are in a big team, and a language with a lot of features, like, for example, even C# now. If you look at C#, there are so many features in the language now that are different from what the language used to be. So there are 2, 3, 4 ways to do the same thing. And when you're navigating in a code written by many people, what is happening is that you're going to find those 3, 4 different styles in the same code base. So there is this constant mental switching of, okay, all right, okay, he's using this kind of thing, okay, he's using that kind of thing. Same thing with C++. Okay, he's using Lambda. Okay, he's using C++ 11 for loops, and so on and so on and so on. So I appreciate small languages like Go and like Zig, like Jai is supposed to be, from what I see in the videos. All right, let's see if it works. The orientation of the line could be wrong. And if this works, we can build the SailGP course. And test it. It's a bit loud. So in theory, I should see a trigger as soon as I pass over this line. I think it worked, but I should put a message. Yeah, it works. All right, that's very promising. So println type line mark passed. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So in theory, we should be able to build this thing. All right, so we start here. Boom. Still very near. We have to turn here and go that way. Okay. Okay. And I don't think this is going to work. And that works. Well, that's good. Okay, so I think but you know, it means it's realistic, that movie. It means it's totally realistic. So let me try to sail. Let me try to sail just to celebrate the fact that I'm done. All right, let's sail. Can I manage to foil before? I think so. Before the first mark. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right. Yeah, I think I will try to do something like that for the modders. So if they want to have fun instead of just racing, is that my mark? Holy shit, it's my mark. So small, this. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's the problem. I have no spatial awareness of where things are. I have absolutely no idea. All right, so then we go down. Too much, too much. Okay. Perfect, perfect. It's all working, which makes me looking forward for a weekend of not much stress. All right, guys, thanks a lot for stopping by. I will get some lunch, and hopefully I'm out of this Mark's Boys racecourse thing that really took me way longer than I thought. And it's good because I can look forward to next week implementing a map on the screen or some kind of indicator of where my next mark is. So have a good weekend, everybody, and I will see you Monday morning. Ciao, ciao.